NAFTA is governed by a commission consisting of cabinet-level appointees from each country. It is implemented by a secretariat consisting of appointees of the commission. Take note, the people who govern NAFTA are appointed and are not directly accountable to the electorate. NAFTA's Article 511 requires that each nation conform its laws to the uniform regulations adopted by the appointed policymakers, and that any modifications or additions to the uniform regulations be adopted by the member nations within 180 days. The people who are governed elect a president, 100 senators, and 435 representatives. The president appoints a U.S. trade representative, who is confirmed by the Senate. The trade representative is the U.S. representative on the NAFTA Commission. It is the NAFTA Commission that creates trade policies for the three nations and appoints a NAFTA Secretariat to coordinate and implement those policies. NAFTA's Article 511 requires Congress to conform its laws to NAFTA's uniform regulations. NAFTA working groups, consisting of federal employees throughout several agencies, then impose NAFTA's trade policies on the people who are governed. Let's do that again in slow motion. The people who are governed elect a president, 100 senators, and 435 representatives. The president appoints a U.S. trade representative, who is confirmed by the Senate. Carla Hills was the trade representative who negotiated NAFTA. Susan Schwab is the current trade representative. Senate confirmation of the trade representative is about as close as the consent of the governed ever gets to NAFTA trade policy. The trade representative is the U.S. representative on the NAFTA Commission. It is the NAFTA Commission that creates trade policies for the three nations and appoints a NAFTA Secretariat to coordinate the implementation of those policies. Let that sink in. The appointed NAFTA Commission creates trade policy for all three nations. NAFTA's Article 511 requires Congress, say that again, requires Congress to conform its laws to NAFTA's uniform regulations. NAFTA working groups, consisting of federal employees throughout several agencies, then impose NAFTA's trade policies on the very people who are governed. Suppose you, as one of the people who are governed, don't like the idea of Mexican trucks delivering goods from Mexican ports to cities across the United States. To whom do you express the absence of your consent for this policy? The NAFTA International Dispute Settlement Tribunal has ruled that the U.S. must allow Mexican trucks to deliver in the United States, and Congress can only complain about it. NAFTA offers two primary options for dispute settlement: the procedures of the World Bank's International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes, or the procedures of the United Nations Commission for International Trade Law. This process is the final authority on the NAFTA trade policies that will be imposed on the people who are governed without their consent. When NAFTA went into force in 1994, the Free Trade Area of the Americas was launched with a summit in Miami. These negotiations have continued over the years in an effort to expand the union or community concept to the continent. Negotiations have faltered, and a firm agreement has yet to be reached. CAFTA was adopted in 2005 by only one vote in the House of Representatives. It too is governed by a commission consisting of cabinet-level appointees, who in turn appoint committees and working groups to implement the agreement. CAFTA simply extends and expands the authority of the appointed commission to cover the Central American nations of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic. The Security and Prosperity Partnership was created March 23, 2005 in Waco, Texas, by Mexico's President Vicente Fox, President George W. Bush, and Canada's Prime Minister Paul Martin. The SPP is neither an agreement nor a treaty. It is simply a dialogue designed to further integrate the three nations.